John L. Gandy here today with the Greater Than Ever podcast, where I bring on special guests from athletes, coaches, and people inside and outside the fitness industry, where I learn about them and their history and what made them successful and how people can learn from them how to be greater than ever. Stopping by for conversation, she's a new IFBB Fit Model Pro. She actually started competing in Bikini way back in 2019. In 2020, she did her first ever national show at the North Americans, taking 7th place. She took some time off, got into the fashion industry, and dedicated her work and her craft in being an entrepreneur. She came back in 2025 in the fit model category, and although she took second at the Sean Ray Classic in Hawaii in her home state, she went to NPC Nationals and won the overall title there. And now, new IFBB Fit Model Pro, she hopes to be an inspiration to many women, and especially those getting into the fashion and design, and just being a model herself, not just as a great person and an athlete, but also an inspiration to many young girls. Very intelligent. She graduated high school at 16 years old and graduated college at 19 years old. She's someone who, when she puts her mind to something, she's going to get it done. When she wants to be the best at something, she gets it done. Under one of the best coaching teams in the pro league right now with Team Atlas, she's someone who I believe one of the people that can be a face of the fit model division and an inspiration to many people. And after people seeing her, how she performed at the NPC Nationals in 2025, I definitely can't wait to see her and what she does as a pro and to the next level. We have a great conversation. We just talk about things, just life, things in the industry, and we really got to enjoy this. And I hope people can learn a lot from her and how her life and how she's dedicated everything to what she's doing, and also being a young person in this industry to also inspire the next generation of upcoming competitors in the NPC and in the IFBB. Please welcome my next guest, Fit Model Pro Faithlyn Derla. The season's about to start, and I'm excited to see the season about to go. And the first ever fit model season, the Arnold, I will tell you this, great athlete and fan experience. But I will say, I'm actually going to do a Q&A on this, but I feel that expo wise, the Olympia is more bodybuilding and less, versus the Arnold is more like fitness, influencer kind of a thing. There's not really people who are into the bodybuilding side. But me, I'm just like athletes at the pre-judging. That's what I care about, them, and they look good. And the show, and yeah, go ahead.
It was an incredible show. Like it's watching Bikini, even watching like the Fit Model Amateur. Yeah, I always feel that the Arnold it's so special. I mean, nothing can ever really replace it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's harder. It's crazy for me when I say this, but it's harder to get into the Arnold than it is to get to Olympia because it's an invite only. But listen, they fly you in, they give you hotel, they give you a stipend, they really take care of the athletes. And Brian Powers, the executive director, he's like, "What can we do to improve?" And he has a whiteboard that you guys can write in, like, "What can we do to improve on?" And they take that feedback. So after the craziness that happened Saturday, they're going to do a 4-day show. So what I think, yeah, they're going to do a 4-day expo, which I look at it as a benefit, but also the cons is like maybe ticket prices are going to go up a bit. But then again, it's like it'll be more spacious. So that's what I see it as.
I heard it was packed.
Oh my
Like
goodness. You
it
could not,
was
I,
sardines.
there's a can of sardines. Yeah. I could not even walk through Saturday. All the athletes, like the bikini and men's physique, they had to exit out through the backstage. They could not, you could
Oh,
not just walk through that.
oh wow.
And then
Yeah, for
people,
sure.
you're going to wait 2 hours in line for a Young LA t-shirt. Like, I'm like, I wasn't taking, I only took like non-stim like samples. I only did non-stim samples. I packed my food with me. I was just like sitting there just eating out of the LO container. So
Did you go for all 3 days?
yeah, I was there Thursday for the meet the athletes, and then I went to Friday and Saturday at the expo. Sunday I was with 9 guys with my team, so we had to go home. So we had to leave the place by 11 a.m. So I pretty much just went home because if I had a hotel, I would have left my luggage there and then just gone and then take a plane home. But I had the only flight that was available, which I booked out, thank goodness, in time, was an 8 p.m. flight. So it was all good. But next year I'll be more prepared in advance. So but I would love to attend Sunday because it's less people and less crowded. So around like 2 p.m. it starts to slow down. I'm like, I just want to meet athletes. I want to meet the people. Like I'm good with buying stuff. So but it was a great experience.
That's awesome. I give so much props to the ambassadors and the athletes when it comes to events like that, to just be surrounded by so much people. I mean, that's a blessing and such a great opportunity. But man, can you imagine just like hundreds of people just standing in line?
We were like penguins. We were like
Yeah.
people were doing trains. They were like doing trains, like had their hands on people's elbows, and I'm
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
yeah. I'm just like, oh man, I gotta get out of here. And like I can't do nothing. I gotta get out of here. So yeah, I mean, it was. I will say this: I recommend anybody go to it. I mean, especially if we're on the fitness industry. But about you, you were actually in the fashion industry before all this. I just learned about that. I was like, oh, no wonder. Like you dress up nice, you look like. If I was not into bodybuilding at all, if I was not into like sports, I would want to do something with like fashion, clothing, and stuff. I think maybe I start my own clothing line eventually, kind of like competing with guys like Dark Sport, Young
Oh
LA, you
yeah.
know, those guys. But I want to do something different. I represent Pat's product, Pat from Aries Nutrition. I wore his hoodie and people were like, that's a cool Spartan logo. I'm like, yeah. It's like, yeah, like, yeah, Pat's is like, yeah, that's cool. I'm like, yeah. So they kind of made me idea. Instead of wearing other people's stuff, I want to wear my own thing. You have your own clothing line, right? Right?
I am currently in the works of
Okay.
kind of building that out. My educational and my professional background is from fashion industry. So I went to school in San Francisco and that's where I studied fashion design and marketing. And then in between me graduating college, that's how I then fell in love with bodybuilding. And so that's how I got into competing initially. But then my main priority when I was a lot younger and I needed to be more financially stable was focusing on where I got my actual degree from. So I took some time off from bodybuilding and really just focused on fashion and the luxury goods industry. So I was working as a marketing director for a jewelry brand, working on scaling that business. And yeah, I like to say I'm a jack of all trades. I'm in the fashion industry. I work in like luxury goods, but then I also have my personal trading business as well. I just love being all over the place.
No, it's good. It's great. You know. But you know, just about like so it was around 2018, 2019 if I'm correct, that's when you decided to start competing. So what initially got you wanted to get into this? Because you just like posing, you just like showing off. What was, you know, you wanted to do something where it was like you're changing your physique.
hmm Uh, Hawaii has a very strong old school bodybuilding scene. And I actually have always been familiar with bodybuilding because my dad and my uncles used to compete. So growing up, I always recall very faintly my dad traveling. We're from the Big Island, so he would travel from the Big Island to Oahu to compete in these bodybuilding competitions. And so when I started to get into strength training just as like a hobby, it was my dad who actually taught me how to weightlift and do a lot of these things. And he always was like him and my uncles, aka is like his brothers, were always like, you should just do a show. And so that's how I got into it. It's kind of just like a lineage thing. My dad never got to fully pursue it for the primary reason that he was really just trying to take care and provide for me and his family. So the fact that I could carry that on, I wanted to do something to commend his legacy or his love for the sport. And I ended up falling in love with it on my first show. I was only 19 when I did my first show. So it was a series of wanting to try something out that my dad had a passion for, but also, what's not fun about a sparkly bikini and lifting heavy things,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great. So 2019, you did the Shaun Hawaiian Classic. He's had that show
hmm
for many years, and you know he's always having like I think he just only has bikini men's physique. I think one year he had classic, and one year he had wellness. But I think he focuses more on bikini and classic. But they also have the amateurs as well.
Yes.
So that was your first ever like NPC show. You did. Let me get this. You took third in the novice, and then you took second in your class. So you were nationally
hmm
qualified.
Yes, yes, yeah.
So
Uh,
from your first show experience, you know, getting into that feeling like you really liked it, where you're like, oh, I could go pro with this, or you know, I can do something with this and put myself out there, also to help with your, you know, branding yourself as well.
Mm-hmm. I just fell in love with it more so than actually being on stage. I love the emotional and physical outlet that came with the discipline of bodybuilding. My former coach, his name is Chris Faldo. He used to be, he actually won, oh, I can't quite recall what year it was, but he was Mr. Universe way back in the early 2000s. And so he was this whole like old school bodybuilder, kind of put me through the trenches. Uh, Close friends with like Sean Ray, all of them. And I just love that kind of down to earth nitty gritty work ethic, and to be surrounded by that by my initial coach, and just being surrounded by how supportive of Hawaii's community was. I I wanted to see how far I could go with the sport for at least a year more while I was trying to figure out and navigate my professional career as well. And so immediately into Sean Ray, we took a off season because they had told me that I needed to grow. And then that following year, that September, I competed at North Americans, and I placed, I believe, six, sixth or seventh, one or the
Seventh,
other.
you got
Yeah,
seventh.
yeah.
You got seventh in North Americans. But you
Hmm.
had but some girls in that class were, some of them that did not turn pro eventually turned pro, and they were now Olympians, like Maria Costa. I was looking
Uh-huh.
down the list. I was like, Maria did this. Liana Gianamore did this. Liana's not been to the Olympic stage yet, but I think she will eventually. But you had a lot of girls. Yulia. Um, Yulia has been like three times. Yeah, 23, 24, 25. So yeah, she's three-time Olympian. So there are people that you never know. They could they could find something special out of that. And hey, look, you didn't turn pro at that time, but it was a great
Hmm.
learning. It was your first ever national show. It was one of the
Oh
biggest
yeah.
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I didn't go in with any expectations. I really just wanted to see how I would stack up because Hawaii has much smaller regional shows, and you never really know the potential of an athlete until you're up on that national level. I believe Isa Pereira won the show for wellness for North
Yes.
Americans that year.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a pretty solid stacked national show. It was great. It was in Pittsburgh, and what do you call? It was during COVID.
Yeah.
So they had just bypassed the law where you had to wear a mask on stage, thankfully.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, the USA's got pushed to December. I was thinking, and then that year the USA's wasn't in Las Vegas, it was in Arizona.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
did you consider that doing that show, or you were kind of like, I just wanted to see where I look and I have a lot of work to do?
Um, it was more so I had a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
My judge feedback was that I had great shape, great stage presence, but primarily density. I was only 20 at the time, and the reality is that it just takes years to build that
Yes.
level of density. And I was realistic with myself. My coach was realistic with myself. I'm good friends. At the time, I was really good friends with Eureka Noda. And at
Oh
the time,
yeah.
she went pro at North Americans that year.
Yes. Yes.
Um, and we actually have like a side by side photo from that year. And it's actually also a great example of the comparison of now current fit model to bikini. The density, even back then in 2020, and of course, the density has, of course, like gotten a lot higher of a threshold between 2020 and 2026. But although I had like the shape, I just didn't have that maturity or that hardness. Um, and so therefore I just didn't look as conditioned as I should have been on stage. And I knew that it was going to take time, and I had told myself that the next time that I would step on stage, it would be a much better package than just kind of running a novice rookie season. But the thing was that at the same time, I was also focusing on my career, and just like that, five, 5 years, 5 years had just passed. When they announced the fit model division, I was just like, oh, this sounds like a really great opportunity to get back into a sport that I so dearly loved.
Yeah. I was actually gonna get, so like from 21 to 24, you're just focusing on your career. You may thought you may come back into it, but it's like almost every year in bikini gets more and more difficult. Like I've
Hmm.
just talked to someone about this. I'm like, it's people who are turning pro in their late 20s, early 30s. You're seeing the best people in bikini in their 30s, But because this is many years of work, because the gap between amateur and pros gotten so like wide, and so it's like, so you're not seeing, like, for instance, the last 21-year-old on the Olympia stage was Jen Dory in 2018. That
Hmm.
was when she did her first Olympia. We haven't seen
Hmm.
someone that young in the top 10 in like such a long time, because I mean it's very few, like, if they're really exceptional. But then I say, like, look, the best pros are going to take time to like grow into this, and it's like when they're developed, when they have their prefrontal cortex developed, and they've been training for a good 5 years to a decade, you're going to see the best athletes on the stage. And I think people need to look at that, where it takes time to develop a physique. I mean, you're a product of that. You would, I mean, I say if you turn pro in your 20s, like early 20s, it's a privilege. But then it's like, now it's like you have to go into like put in more work and to like really
Hmm.
develop, and it's going to just take time to be at the top level. And I think you have what it takes to be at the top level. So fit model gets announced in 2024. You looked at it kind of like, oh wow, this is something I could do, or you like, I like what bikini is. What were your thoughts initially?
I had when I was competing, I was only 19 and 20 at the time, and like I mentioned, my dad was a pretty prominent figure when it came to my bodybuilding career. He always offered life advice, and there is that conversation of PEDs. And so when I was competing in bikini, I wasn't taking anything, and it was kind of this reality of if I wanted to push my genetic capacity at a really young age, that would then be the alternative route. But the thing is that the same year that I actually competed at North Americans, I met my now current husband. And I really, like, one of my ultimate dreams is I want to be a mom. I want to have kids, and it just didn't seem worth the risk to reward ratio to put my hormonal health at risk for a pro card. And the reality was that I could have gone down that route and I could have continued to compete and push that barrier. But at the same time, I knew that going pro was something that had to be earned, and it's just not something that you get with instant gratification, which is what I love about the sport. It pushes against what how society is now, where we like want everything instantly, and
Yeah.
bodybuilding really forces you to work for it and to have that patience. And so when they announced Fit Model in 2024, it definitely did pique my interest in the sense that I was like, hey, when I was looking at the initial criteria, I was like, this is kind of like when I was competing back in 2019, 2020. And I decided that I remember I recall joking with my husband, like maybe I'll give it a shot. We'll see. We'll see. And it took a whole first half of 2025 of me going back and forth of like, if I want to do a prep or not, I don't want to do a prep. And then we had come back from our anniversary trip, celebrating our wedding anniversary together. And I just told myself, you know what? It doesn't hurt to try it. So I did Sean Ray again. Ironically enough, I placed second again. And that's when I had reached out to James. And I actually had no expectations going into North Americans. I knew that because I had prior bodybuilding experience, I am realistically on the upper threshold of muscle density for fit model. I would say that even like my judge feedback at North Americans was to not ever surpass the amount of density that I have on my body, which is something that I'm completely fine with. But also realistically, when I did my prep going into nationals last year, I didn't expect to go pro. I really just it was going in with the same kind of mentality that I had 6 years ago. It was just seeing where I was going to place. But this time, because I had that fire relit in myself, I was willing to definitely dedicate full fledged of no matter how long it takes, I want to be back in the sport actively competing.
So did you just do Sean Ray and then nationals, or did you do North Americans in 25?
I just did Sean Ray, and then nationals
Oh,
was, I
okay.
believe, 4 or 5 weeks after Sean Ray.
I think, yeah, Sean Ray was in November,
November
I believe. Yeah.
8th. November 8th.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it was in November. I know it was a post Olympia show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, here we go. Trying to pull up. Yeah. When he walked out, I was like, wait. I was watching the whole Sean Ray on YouTube. And I'm like, and I did see you at the amateurs. I'm like, I think he had a blue suit if I'm not mistaken.
I had a purple suit.
Per
Oh shoot. I
this one.
I think I yes, yes. I was actually supposed to wear the purple to North Americans. I mean to nationals, but James told me to change it.
I was like, I looked, I was like, I thought you were like Maureen almost. Like I'm like the face. I'm like, is she? Is like, is Maureen blonde now? I'm like, wait a minute. Like that's not Maureen. That's someone
Yeah.
else. Like I don't know the face. Like she's Filipino. I could kind of it looks somewhat similar, but I was like, oh wait a minute. Like hey, like hey, this person looks. When you came out, I was like, it was between you and I think Dan. I was like, both of those could have, both you and her could have equally won the class or won the overall. But
Oh
when
yeah, for sure. And it was
but
like one of those things where just because I haven't competed in 5 years, right? So I didn't go in with the interpretation of like, oh yeah, if I don't win Chandra, then it's all or nothing. It was like, let's see it out. I truly, genuinely wanted to see if I was gonna fit the fit model division or not.
No, I think this is right, and I think it's really good for you. Yes, you do have a little more muscle, but you're not pushing bikini in any way, shape, or form. I just
Oh
think
yeah.
you're just genetically like just built like that, and you're natural. You're not on any enhancements at all.
No,
Like
not going
just
into nationals. No.
so but here's the thing: it's very what you're doing is like very little because you've been doing this for such a long time. So it
Mm-hmm.
was good what you said. You waited, but like I said, less is more. So which this is a great physique. What I'm seeing. I mean,
Thank you.
even the whole internet was like, "Who's this? Who's this?" It was like who's it's like who's that? Like she looks great. This girl's gonna be the future, and I don't want to put that on like you're the future right now. Like I just everyone was like happy to see it. So you have that support from like people online, people who are like we're just seeing the nationals and seeing you as the overall winner. They're like, I like that they're going with this look. I like that this could be a like a standard for the division because I'm not taking any just I'm not going to discredit anybody who got their pro card and won overalls, but it was like kind of like until like that July to like towards the end of it was like kind of like July to like September. It felt like they were going to go more muscular, and that was what was winning. But then it was kind of like
Mm-hmm.
it got pulled back into the Olympia amateur, and then when you won, I'm like, okay, so reassured. I'm like, hey, this is a good look
Yeah.
for the. It's like we're not going too far, and we just had our first ever pro show in Japan, so you kind of saw what got rewarded within. So everyone's just like anxious and anticipating what's going to happen, and I'm just like, I think after maybe Pittsburgh, we'll get a good indication because we have a show in Taiwan. We have a show
Mm-hmm.
in we have Taiwan, you have Wasatch, you have Girl Power, and then you have California, New York, and then Pittsburgh. I'm like, listen, until we have a consistent look, until we see all the top girls coming out, like then we'll see what the division is going to go to. But I honestly think the balance that you brought, your presentation is amazing. I love the green suit. Use code PBNN. Just saying.
Toxic Angels is the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they make awesome suits, and if you have a code, I'll plug it in. I'll give you that shout out at the end as well. But no, I really like this whole look. This is like a really good physique. I really think it's a great like interpretation of what the fit model category is. You have like you hit that stallion pose if you want to call it very well.
Thank you.
You're snatched in the back. I really like that as well. And I will tell you this, I do think that the balance from top to bottom is like right there. And also the way your waist goes is like you have the right proportions for it. It's not many people can do that pose if they don't have like the proportions or like the
Uh-huh.
waist for it, but you have it like right there. So when you do
Yeah.
it, it's so well done.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah. So wanted to after nationals, I had a couple questions, especially from other pros. So you're the one of the most talked about. So some of the questions I had was,
Mhm.
what are your show plans for 2026, and where do you hope to land in your first Olympia?
Oh my gosh. So I have not quite announced my show plans yet. I've actually discussed it with you, and there are a handful of people who are aware. And
Yeah,
it's not even coming from a place of like ego. It more
yeah,
so has to do with the sense of the at least for me on my end, I was not anticipating to get that much amount of coverage from nationals. I mean, I just remember being backstage at nationals, and James is so upfront. He's so honest, and that's why I love with him as a coach. I have a screenshot of when, when I like reached out to him and I said, "Hey, I want to do nationals like 4 weeks prior to doing nationals." He was like, "We can try to go pro, but I'm not going to promise you anything." And he set that reality of like I told him I want to do it just to do it. Like I'm not going in with an anticipation. And so being backstage and incredible lineup, by the way. Nationals had, I believe, my class had 37, and then there were like over 100 fit model girls total at nationals. And so my mentality back then was like, I pray to God, I pray to God that I at least get first call outs, that's all I really wanted, to at least give me that affirmation of like, okay, this is the right division for me. I'm going to work harder and tweak my physique more and drive myself to a position where then I could own a pro card worthy physique. And so to win like nationals was a huge accomplishment in the sense of like, wow, this really was uh like almost a full circle moment in terms of like my calling towards bodybuilding. Um and so the primary reason why I'm not fully sharing my show schedule yet is because I have I will be honest, I have a lot of anxiety because there was that coverage.
Hmm.
And like if people start talking about like, okay, these are her show
It's safe with
plans.
me. It's safe with me. I won't tell anybody. You don't have to announce it
Yeah.
on here. So, I think a lot of people are like I would love to see people put themselves out there just so the division can grow. But I can understand it's like they don't want to have that high pressure, high stress on them.
Yeah.
So
Well, what I will say is a week out from my very first pro show, that's when I'm going to announce everything. And then that's when I'm going to provide a ton more coverage. So that's from like training to peaking to my interactions with all of the other athletes with James. I'm trying my best to show up as an ambassador for the sport in the sense of going to the seminars, keeping in touch with all the pro girls, the amateur girls, answering as many questions as possible. But in terms of like show schedule, I would say wait at least a couple more months or so, and then I will fully announce my show schedule plans. I'm going in with the same mentality that I did going into nationals, meaning I know that there is kind of like this conversation or talk of like, oh, this is how you're going to place or this is how you're going to perform. I don't want to go in with that mentality. I think the reason why I fell in love with the sport so deeply again was because I was just doing it just to do it. I was doing it for fun, for the love, whether I was going to place or not. And I want to take that same passion going into my pro season, in the sense of I does it matter if I qualify for Olympia? Yes. I mean, obviously I wouldn't be working with James, who is a top level coach, right? So there is that expectation that I do hold in the sense that I want to fulfill and I want to achieve that goal. But also for me, it's like, how do I say it? I will keep on working towards that goal as long as it takes. As many times, if I have to fail for like the first 15, 10 shows, I'm going to keep on going and going and going until I get that qualification, whether that be this year or the following year or whatever the judge feedback is. And in terms of like placement for Olympia, it's up to the judges, you know. My main objective is just to follow the plan, and at the end of the day, it's a subjective sport. If I do well, I do well. If I don't, then that's just feedback for me to improve and work on other things so that way I can come out with a better package. Um, yeah, no expectations. There is a degree of an expectation, but in terms of like, if I don't win my first pro debut or if I don't do like as people have expected me to, then it's I'm as an athlete, my goal is just to show up and perform, and how the placings end up happening, that is up to the judges for them to determine. And I
yes.
can't control who is on that stage at the end of the day. I mean, amazing, phenomenal athletes, right? Fit model is an extremely competitive division. I believe the Wasatch and even the future shows to come forward, there's around 50 plus athletes. Correct me if I'm wrong? I know that
40 to I think 40
Japan
to
had like
50.
40, right?
Japan had 40, 48, but 47 were on stage. Um, but yeah, I do think almost every show in the US is going to have 40 plus athletes in it, plus all the winners from like who got their pro card, and some girls from Bikini may be trying it. And
Hmm.
about that, with some of the Bikini girls, I feel like some who just, I feel like the ones who are way too developed, they should just stay in the Bikini. But the ones who are just like, they really can't put on the size or the conditioning, I think they could maybe try it out. I mean, the girl that got sixth
Hmm.
place in Japan was a former Bikini Olympian, Ariam, and
Oh,
she
yes,
she took
yes.
sixth, and I'm like, she looks amazing. Like this is the category for her. And I'm thinking, even those girls from Asia, they look amazing. Like
They
I
look
feel like this.
incredible.
I think this is the category for them because they're into the fashion, kind of like you are, and they look unreal. And when some of them in bikini look great, but I feel like when they come here, they get overlooked. And I'm not blaming any of them, but I kind of feel like when you're in a whole different time zone and then you come here and you're one day behind it, like that messes you up. So I feel like if they come in early, they get here, they're more prepared. But one of them got placed in, I think Sally, she's from Japan. She got 14th and she looks great. She's already qualified
Hmm.
for this year's Olympia. And I definitely see her someone as like going to challenge the top girls. But those girls, I wish they could come here, they could win here, and they could do very well. Because I'm like, if they could get here, if they just don't come in too small, if they don't come in way too lean and just fill out, I definitely think they're going to be competitive. And I definitely want to see a lot of great athletes. But I definitely say that almost every Florida show is going to have almost every girl from Florida going into there because like it's in my backyard. I could just drive 2 hours and I'm there. So
Yeah,
it's great for
yeah.
them. And I mean, right now there's only 19 shows left. I think 8 left outside the US, and then there's 11 in the US. So definitely every show here is going to be really
Stacked.
competitive. Yeah.
Yeah, the stakes are pretty high because, from what I understand, you have to win the show,
Yeah.
correct? To get the Olympic qualification, there's no point system.
Yeah, for fit model cuz there's less shows, it's only you can win one show and you're qualified. But that doesn't stop you from winning one show and saying, "Well, I'm not going to let you go." So you want to be an Ashley K, you can go ahead. It's like, but I even tell people about Ashley like this. It's like, if you can't beat her in this show, what are you going to do at the Olympia?
Exactly.
It's like, if you can beat Ashley, you can win the Olympia. It's like, if you can't beat me in here, what are you going to do when you get there? It's like,
Yeah.
it's me. It's like, you may defeat one person. You may, okay, that's one down. Well, you have 20 more people to go through. I'm like, oh, it's like, I just beat that one person finally. He's like, you picked the wrong one to start with. And I have more people that's just the competitive, and that's just that's what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun. We're supposed to have fun with this. I
Yeah.
mean, everyone has a goal for themselves. Obviously, we just have to present what we bring. I understand that. I understand if I'm going to go into a national show for classic, I got to go against 20 to 40 guys in one class
Hmm.
for my height. And I'm like, I got to bring the best that I have. And I have to show that very well with what I'm given. And whatever happens, happens. If it's in my hands, if it's my day, great. If it's not, you know what? I can come back and I can work hard. And I love that mindset that you have. And I'm happy you answered that because everyone's putting this expectation of you winning. So it's like, hey, look, what happens will happen. And I definitely think you have a great mindset, Faithlyn. So
Thank you. Yeah, in my personal opinion, I love big shows. I've only done big shows. Sean Ray's the biggest out of all the regional shows back home in Hawaii. And in my opinion, it's just like, you're investing all of this time getting competition prep ready. You're spending this money on the beautiful toxic angel suit, on the tan, the hair, the makeup, especially for us women, we invest a lot of time and money getting stage ready. Why not do the biggest show? I love, I would say that in both business and in sport, I'm extremely competitive, but not in like a malicious intent. I love it when the stakes are high. It makes me excited.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, not many people, like I said, you've been in almost every big show. I mean, you went to nationals. That's one of the hardest shows to turn pro in because of how many people are there. But
Yeah, yeah.
you did very well with that. And I think you're ready to be tested against any big show. I think some of the biggest shows this year, Pittsburgh, New York, let's see, June, you have, what's in June? You have the Florida shows. You have July. I don't think anything big is in July. And then you have Tampa, which is another
Hmm.
big one.
That's a huge
Texas as
one, yeah.
well. Texas as well. Texas is so well, like you'll love that show.
Really? Well, what
The
is that one called?
Texas Pro,
The Texas Pro? I've
yeah.
heard good things about that show.
Freddie puts on a production. He makes you guys
Really?
look good. The Battle Up Media, it's like with Battle Up Media, what he does with the black backdrop and everything, he makes you guys look great. When you look at those photos, like, man, I look good. Like when you go to check, it's like, I'll buy some videography, make me look good. It's like, we'll make you look good.
I know
So
that was my biggest regret. It's so funny because I didn't think that I was gonna. I was going in with the intention of placing well at nationals, but I didn't think I was gonna go pro, and so I didn't pay for my photos. I only paid for the videos. And so like James was asking like, "Hey, where are your like your photos from Battle Up or from Gilco?" I'm like, I'm sorry, I was going in with the interpretation that I was going to do more national shows immediately after. But the good thing is I can support those two media companies going into my pro debut. So it is what it is.
yeah, no, I definitely say like, listen, obviously you and James got a great plan, but I'm like, if you want a great athlete experience, that is the show. My
Texas
teammate,
one.
yeah, Texas Pro. That's
I love Texas.
August.
Yeah.
I think it's second week of August, so the week after Tampa.
hmm
But I like my teammate. He got seventh in his rookie season in classic physique. He goes, John, I never had such a great show experience, and he did Pittsburgh, New York, and Texas. But he said he loved Texas the
Wow.
most. So but Pittsburgh, you guys go on Sunday, so
hmm
that's another thing that's beneficial. They have three divisions on Saturday, and then they have most of the other divisions and classic on Sunday. So they're doing things different this time. And Pittsburgh, well ran as well. I definitely think you'll like that experience as well. And all the Olympia judges are there. That's one of the
I
three shows that has all the
know.
Olympia judges. So I definitely know James is going to have a lot of his athletes there. And, James is a great coach. What I love about him as a coach is that he knows how to collect data and know how to like put you in the place and position to win, and knows how to like get the best out of everybody.
Oh
Like
yeah,
this is
for
something
sure.
most coaches don't do this, and this is what I think he does differently. He'll hear one judge say this and one judge say that. If they're in the same, like for instance, Sandy and Tyler, he goes, Sandy, you said this. Tyler, you said that. What is something you could agree on that my athlete could work on? And then they come
hmm
together. So he does something called inter-rater reliability, which he finds a consistency with judging, so then he can take that feedback and be accurate and apply it. And he does that so well. So he will take everything and he'll go, how do I change your diet? How do I change your program? I think you're in great hands right now, and I'm definitely seeing like the potential to have. But the next question I have to ask you is: you graduated high school early?
I graduated high school and college early. I graduated high school at
Oh wow!
16, and then I
What?
finished university at 19.
What?
Yeah, that's where my
Wait,
competitive edge comes in.
wait. So are you like a sophomore in high school when you graduated, or junior?
I think the way the Hawaii schooling system was set up is I got enrolled like a year earlier, age-wise. So I was a junior when I graduated high school.
Oh wow!
Um, but I just always has this. I come from the countryside of Hawaii. And so I come from a family of immigrants, and my parents had me relatively young as well. They had me when I was teenagers. And so I grew up watching them go through the ebbs and flows of like EBT, struggling to put food on the table. And so when I was old enough and cognizant to realize like I had this ability, academic ability, and all of this, I really just wanted to pursue success in whatever that may be on a large term scale. So I remember being like 14 and telling my parents like, yeah, I'm gonna graduate at 16 and I'm gonna move to San Francisco and pursue an education up there. Uh, so yeah.
You kind of knew what you wanted. Like how old did you know what you wanted? I feel like I don't know where I'm from on the East Coast. I feel like the public. I don't listen. I'm not going to get into politics and stuff, but like I feel like on the East Coast, maybe every school is different. Like they put pressure on you. Like when you're 13 years, like what do you want to do? What do you want to
Yeah.
do? Like what do you want to do? You want to be a doctor? You want to be a this? You want to be this? It's kind of like you just have to figure it out what you
Mhm.
want, and find that passion that you really want to do. Because if it's like you want to be a dentist, you want to be an engineer, you want to do this, you want to do that, it's kind of like, oh, your grades are not this, so this is the school for you. It's like most people don't know what they're doing at first, but then they figure out what they're passionate about. So I think what age were you passionate about, like, I wanted, this is what I want to do with my life, this is what I do with my career, and I think I can make something out of it? At what age? Because you graduated early, you kind of know what you wanted.
To be honest, even to this day, I'm still not fully sure. The way that I go about things is I just like to go for it. And the reason why I say that is, at least from my experience, being set on a set goal or a set outcome does a lot more hindrance than anything. I Funny enough, the reason why I had the ambition to kind of finish my education early was back when I was 16. And it's funny because it's kind of like a full circle moment. Back when I was 16, I told myself, okay, I'm going to give myself 10 years to figure out this entrepreneurship thing out. And if I don't, then I can just go back to school and get a normal job and get a normal education, enroll myself in a really good corporate or medical job or whatever it may be, that whatever else I find interesting, and I'll still only be 26 and have time to save up for retirement. Um, so I gave myself like this 5, 10 year plan of like, I'm gonna hustle as hard as possible to do whatever it takes, which is why I took that step back from bodybuilding, because my main priority was I wanted to succeed as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, first and foremost, more than anything. And if I ever had the opportunity to return to the sport without having to compromise that, then I would do it. And last year, everything kind of just fell into place. And ironically enough, that marks 10 years of entrepreneurship. And that's the ebbs and flows. It's not 10 years of full blown success. I was struggling for the first 6 years, genuinely wondering why I would put myself through this. Uh, but even through those ebbs and flows, I could never really fully determine what it is that I truly wanted out of entrepreneurship or out of my career. And what I mean by that is that initially what I wanted to do was I wanted to work as a marketing director for LVMH. And I was working for LVMH at quite some time. And I was finding passion in that, but then also midway through, I fell in love with bodybuilding. But then it was as if I had to choose between the two worlds and the two industries. And that's also partially why I fell in love with the idea of fit model, because I liked the concept that it was almost as if there was an intersectionality between different industries colliding, in the sense of, the reality is like, when it comes to different industries, and when it comes to this new rise of this new category, of this new division, it also has to do with business, and not in a negative way. It has nothing to do with profit, but also in terms of like times are changing, right? And so from an economic perspective, health is becoming a variation or a variant of luxury. And I really do believe that this division, because it is more attainable, because it does require still some level of athletic advancement, but nowhere near to the degree of bikini or wellness or the upper, more advanced divisions, it's something that can be very palatable towards a general audience. And it kind of just like clicked, and it was just like, hey, I can pursue bodybuilding within this division, but I can still do my modeling, I can still do my work within fashion, and I don't have to choose between the two. And even though I've been going at this for nearly a decade, I would say it's only now that things are starting to click for me, and the ball is starting to roll for me in terms of having a clear set vision. So I'm just kind of running with it. Same mentality as I went going into competitions. If I have to fail a million times, I will, but at least every failure is going to push me in the correct direction, moving forward, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's a clear path, and I definitely think it works well with what you want in your career, and obviously, what with the physique that you want and the body that you want. I definitely look at it's like, well, you kind of see the more aesthetic look, and Bikini's amazing division, but now it's kind of like an athletic kind of a physique.
Oh yeah,
I
for
don't want to
sure.
say it's not figure. It's not figure at all. It's similar, but if you put a bikini girl and a figure girl next to each other, you're gonna see differentiation. I mean, people say that with so many divisions, there's like blurred lines between them. I'm like, maybe someone outgrows it. Like maybe you'll have a couple of individuals that outgrow, but they'll be judged like any other division. So I look at what's popular, and you go to the Olympia Saturday, classic men's physique bikini are
Hmm.
packed. Obviously, the main attraction is the open, but those three divisions, everyone's like, I cannot believe at the Arnold when I looked. I I saw put this in my story. When I look back and I see a sea of people with their phones out when Sam Sulek comes on, I'm like, geez, like that is crazy. And he's 20, 23, 24 years old, I think, right now. And all these
Yeah.
kids just they're running to him. They're like, oh my goodness, it's Sam. And despite his performance, he's a great kid. The kid's amazing. I mean, whatever he wants to do in his life, he's going to be great at. The guy's built a name for himself. He's got a mechanical engineering from Miami, Ohio. And I mean, he has his own clothing line. He's been offered
Hmm.
like how many companies have offered him $5,000 to like post a picture on IG wearing his shirt, wearing their shirt, and he goes, "I'm good." He's like, "I'm good. I don't want that." It's like, "Oh, like please wear our shirt. We'll pay you this much." Like, "I'm good." And so he has his own stuff. He has his own little private gyms that he goes to sometimes, and he's with Gymshark Raw, 3D, and he's obviously doing so well for himself, and just people like that, and they're going for, like, you see these young boys and
Uh-huh.
girls in this that are coming up. They're like, Sam Fams, Bumstead fans, and that's what they're growing up with. And these girls that are growing up now, they're like looking at your Amy's. They're looking at some people who they can kind of relate to. People love Laura Lee, they love Jen. That's where they're going to. And I see why those divisions are really popular in other countries. I mean, I'm not against open bodybuilding's
Hmm.
obviously going to be my favorite. I love classic a little more, but I see people gravitate to the physique in something that they can go and relate to. That's why I think now four divisions: fit model, bikini, um, classic, and men's physique are really popular because people can relate to it. I asked someone from Dominican Republic, "Have you ever seen a 260-pound guy?" It's like the biggest man we've ever seen is probably 240. They've never seen someone so
Yeah.
large, and I've even said this to like when Samson Dowda went to South Korea, they looked at him like he's a giant. He's 350
I know.
pounds. And keep in mind, right now he's 350 pounds. They're like, whoa, they've
I
never
mean,
seen
seeing
someone
these
that
bodybuilders
large.
in real
Yeah,
life is incredible. They don't even look real. They're just like real life comic
yeah,
characters.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like people want the thing that they can go and relate to. I feel like Latin America is great with wellness. Fit
Hmm.
model is going to be great for like the Asian countries, as that's the most people that turn pro, and that's where most of the pro shows are going to be. But then you're looking at figure. I love figure when it started. Figure was before bikini. I still work with figure girls today, but now you're seeing. I mean, our current champions from the United Kingdom, but lives in the U.S. But half the girls that are qualified now are from Germany. And what's what the girls in Europe? They're more harder. They're more denser,
Hmm.
and a little more grainier. So kind of like you see the shift in like different regions of the world have a preference of a physique. Now, everybody, don't get me wrong, people in Europe, people in South America, they love fit model, they love bikini. But
Hmm.
what's the more thing that they can go and relate to? What's the more thing that they're like, hey, you know what? I like that. I want to go and do that. But when I saw your transformation, I don't know if you want to bring it up, but what you look
Oh
like
yeah, you
before,
definitely can.
what you look like before, let me try to find it quickly. So I'm not gonna pull it up.
Nah, no, it was a rough start to 2025. I will say that. I think I covered it briefly in my stories, but it's on Team Atlas's page.
Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna try to pull it up right now. But when I saw what you looked like, I'm like, whoa, that's an amazing transformation. But like I said, you were very disciplined. You were like very dedicated. And I'm hearing it right now. I mean, I'm hearing it from you. So I'm hoping people get some inspiration from this of like they want to do something different. They want to change their life. This is what they went through. How long ago was it post? Okay, here we go. So hopefully if people you don't look, go, oh no, don't look. So the people, okay, here we go. But when I see this, I'm like, this is 10 months.
Yeah, huge transformation. Yeah, 10 months.
This was around. February of last year?
Yes, yes, yes.
Because I was
That's when
thinking
I
just,
started to kind of toy with the idea of fit model.
but then you figured out, and then you obviously are posing way differently. So it's kind of like you figured it out along the way. But a question
Mhm.
someone asked was, how'd you learn posing? Was it just from practicing? Was it from a posing coach?
James, I will say he is A1 with his posing. And what I mean by that is like even getting ready for my pro debut, he has made me send different variations of posing over and over and over and over again. So I've been working with him with posing, but also my background in modeling, I guess, has kind of helped with that presence. What I will say is for pageantry walking and then like runway walking, modeling walking, it's completely different from bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So if there is anything that I do need to improve on in terms of stage presence is improving on flipping that switch. Of course, when you're on the bodybuilding stage for females, you want to be in a constant anterior pelvic tilt so you don't drop the glutes. Traditional modeling is not like that, right? Posture needs to be upright, more in the opposite direction, neutral hip position. Uh, so when it came to kind of just brushing myself up and getting back into bodybuilding, I would say obsessive level amounts of posing. And I mean, every single day posing classes all the time. I have old bodybuilding. Yeah, those are like that was my show from North Americans.
You look good here. I mean, I'm
Thank
thinking it's
you.
a different at the time, but the suit
Super
kind of
different
like,
package.
yeah, the
Yeah.
suit's different.
Yeah. That was not toxic.
You know why I got with toxic, and I'll tell you why. Because it bothered me that when I saw girls in Europe, um, they had their suit connectors way past their iliac crest, like way high. Like I'm like, it's so much hip exposure. I'm like, why are they putting it so high? And it's like so thin in the back. I'm just like this girl looks great. And I said this, I think I remember it in one of my recaps. Obviously, I talk about the physiques. I talk about what could someone do to fix. I'm like, what bothers me is this girl has a great physique, but man, this suit, man, it takes away from her physique. I'm like, man, this person needs a new suit. I'm like, hello, ladies, we're 2025. We have some pretty awesome suit makers.
Yeah,
Go
the
to
suit will
toxic,
make or
go to
break you.
toxic and use code PBNN. Just saying, not an ad, but I'm
PBNN.
just. But I was just like, we need, like, you know what? You need to find someone that's going to work and obviously work with your physique and have something that makes sense for how your physique flows and how you're built. And when you are obviously stage lean enough, it works well for you. But I look at it where it's like, it's everyone has to be individualized. Everybody has to like know what's appropriate, what's like standard. Because over the years, the suit cuts got thinner and thinner and thinner, and that's what I'm
Hmm.
happy with. This first show, the suit cuts were like 50%
Yeah, they're
coverage. It
like
was
on it
right.
with the 50% coverage. Yeah.
Because I'm like, how do we go from 50% to getting smaller? I'm like, okay, I get it. You're trying to show details, but like, we have a standard. We should stick to it. Like, that's, and so now they're being enforced with that. Now they're being like, if they see it too small, they're going to tell you, hey, you got to come back with something else or you're out. So I'm
Yeah,
happy that
yeah,
they are
for
doing
sure.
that. And
Yeah, I'm happy that they're sticking with the requisites of the division.
yeah. And I like the hologram that Toxic does. It reflects so well, especially with any type of stage lighting that they do. So that green one that you have, I'm hoping they have a sale for St. Patty's Day. So hopefully people go buy that
Oh
one.
yeah, that's coming up. Yeah. Yeah.
I gotta make an ad for you. I'll make an ad for you on the story. So I'll do
Thank
that.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, it's exciting. I love the green. I hope I can wear the green
yeah.
for one of my pro shows this year again.
All right. Yeah. No, I think it looks great. And I definitely see like that's where I feel like it's, and plus the cost of the suits, like you go for like a full scatter, that's about $800
Hmm.
with how much jewel tones and stuff versus the suits that they have. You could get two or three of them for almost like the same, like almost a third of the cost. So that's what I look
It's
at the
so much
benefits
more
of it.
affordable. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. 1,000%. Yeah.
People like, I want connectors, I want bling. I'm like, okay, well then move up. And I noticed this in figure. You know how figure they can have cool designs and stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Most girls now are going nice and simple because of the cost. They're just doing like a straight green. They're doing like a straight blue. They're doing a straight red. It's just the figure kind of look. Because I feel like how much it how much it is to put it on an intricate design. I think some of them are cool. Some of them have like a flower. Some of them have like this like fire or like this like cool line patterns. I like that's one thing I like about figure. But now it's like some of them, if they want to cut costs, just get a simple color. And I'm just like nice and simple, not two
Yeah,
different things. But and that's another thing what I like about this new division. It's like, hey, look, I can do two different ones. I have a different suit color based off, and I always tell my girls this: if you don't know what suit to do, always bring two. Make sure one is
exactly.
blue. That's my rhyme. If you don't know what suit to do, always bring two. Make sure one is blue,
Blue's the
because
same color.
yeah, because if you have an opportunity to see the stage and see what works, you see what color is the stage. If it's a purple stage, okay, maybe purple's not a good idea. Maybe do something that
Mhm.
contrasts that. Obviously, what works with your hair and your skin tone. And that's another thing. It's bodybuilding is not just it's not just the physique. I consider it kind of like more of an art form. It's
Oh,
like it's
1000%.
art.
Yeah.
Like with fashion, you get creative with things. You get creative with ideas. Me, I can get nice and simple stuff. My suit was like under $80, and I just took the suit. I took an idea, got a fedora, and I just put it all together. And people thought it was like a lot. Like, no, it's nice and simple. It's just
It's how you
I don't
work
I don't
it.
have to go. I don't have to go for like Louis or any of that or anything high end. I mean, it would be nice to get something tailored and stuff, but I'm just like, I can't afford that kind of stuff. So I'm just gonna make it look. The point is to look rich, not to the
Exactly.
point is to be rich, not to look it. You can
Yes.
you can look it, but not have to spend a whole fortune.
For
And that's
sure, for
and that's
sure.
one thing I think that you do so well. Like anything that's given to you, you're like, I can create something out of that.
Yeah, you got to be innovative when it comes to it. And I love the price point of the fit model suits. It's so funny. I had my appointment with them 3 weeks ago. I bought four different colors. I'm just gonna bring them all with me, and then I'll let James determine which color he wants for that show day.
All right. Are you gonna do darker hair? Or are you gonna do lighter hair?
I'm actually gonna do darker hair.
Okay.
I the blonde is nice for lifestyle, but under the stage lighting, it's just me being nitpicky. I mean, when it comes to fit model, at the end of the day, it's about overall presentation. In my personal opinion, blonde hair on me plus the tan plus my naturally tan skin, it's very low visual
It
contrast.
would blend in.
So
Yeah.
so I'm gonna go a lot darker when it comes to my hair for my pro debut.
Okay. Question asked is next is how has your diet and training revolved around your work and prep?
In what regard? Just in general, or
I That's what the question was. I
okay.
think I don't know if I don't know how specific, but like just in I guess just in general.
I would say that because Nationals was at the end of the year, I didn't really have, and because the shows are starting early on this year, and also because I don't necessarily need to add on any density, there's no necessary need for me to go into an off season. So really we've just been kind of like maintaining where I'm at. And then of course as I get closer to my pro debut, then we're gonna kind of cut down. James is old school when it comes to his nutrition, I will say that. I think he's known for that as well. But personally, I thrive under that kind of coaching and under that kind of nutrition plan. I'm the kind of person where my dad's a chef actually. So if I get that freedom, it's not good for me. I need like the regimented old school structure of things in order for me to like be on top of everything. But it's been good. I think when you're in the sport, you just gotta know how to make it work. Always making sure that you're bringing your meals, making sure that you're staying on top of everything. I would say that because I do own a couple of businesses, uh, just having that structured schedule with my nutrition and just having certain times of when to eat, knowing what I'm going to eat, it makes my life a lot more efficient in the sense of like, now it's not like, oh, what am I going to eat for the next day? Or like, what am I going to eat tonight? It's all ready. It's said and done, and I love it. It's great. It's efficient. I just check my boxes and do what I got to do.
Yeah. No, that's
Yeah.
really good. And you're well prepared. So like you prepare like every Sunday for like 3 days and then every Wednesday for another 3 days. Like you prepare in advance, or you have a service delivery or any of that.
I like to cook my own food at home. I love
Okay.
to cook. My husband, he doesn't compete, so I cook for him a lot. So I just find that's the most easy, efficient, and cost-effective thing to do. I mean, you do a Costco run, chicken breast costs like $20 for like 4 pounds. I'm set. One thing that I will say with my nutrition is I'm not, I can tolerate chicken, but because I come from home, I'm a huge fish person. And James lets me have yellowtail ahi, which is the leanest cut of meat that you can have. So I've actually been surviving off of sashimi lately. It's great. It's the best thing ever. Yeah.
No, I mean, hey, whatever it works, and it's like if you know how your body works and know what's affecting everything and what's going to minimize inflammation. We're really good with like knowing what works with you, and obviously James was going to go and say, okay, cut back on this, cut back on that,
Mhm.
be nice and simple. And I think Nick Walker said something about simplicity works, like three things: rice, turkey, almond butter. That's it.
Yeah,
And
you don't
yes,
need to overcomplicate it. Like the sport is very, very expensive in itself. The moment that you start adding all of these different things, then
yeah,
it's also those costs add up, and like you can get the job done doing a quick and easy Costco run. Granted, groceries aren't as cheap as they were before,
yeah.
but you want to save money where you can.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, I'm going through it. I'm just like, I'm looking at like, okay, this place has this deal. It's like $3 less here. It's like I have to go to three different places and like know when their sales and what works. So like it's Walmart, it's um what's it? Harris Teeter, it's Safeway, it's I forgot what else I go to. It's Aldi, Lidl. I'm like, okay, what's the what are the deals? What do they have? Where can I buy this? Like this is my checklist. I need to make sure that I'm good for this many days. And like I'm not like I'm out, I'm like, oh crap, I'm out. Like, no, you gotta cook more. So I always at least have something that's good for 3 4 days out. So that when I run out, I can or if I'm like one day, I'm like, okay, this is my last one. I gotta prepare more in advance. So always being prepared in advance. I think, it's called a prep for a reason because you're preparing for things in advance and you're
Exactly,
preparing
yeah.
for what's to come. Um, I bring my containers with me everywhere I go. So I'm like, okay, gotta stop. I had everything. I did not buy food at all in this Columbus trip. I packed like Thursday, Friday, 4 days worth of nothing but rice, ground turkey, ground beef, and green beans.
That's
And I
what I do when I
and I
travel
put them
for
in
my
and I put
shows
them in
too.
freezer bags, and I just take with me on the plane. So and all I had to do was just open up the bag, put it in the thing, heat it up, and good.
Yeah.
But they kept but they were frozen really good. So I had to like microwave it a couple like at least two for another. I had to microwave for 2 minutes twice. I was like, oh wow, like so yeah. I mean, that's always something that's good for you to do, and you live the lifestyle, not just in competition, but also just in general, like so that you're keeping track and you're maintaining and you're making sure everything is in check. So one more question for you, Faith. Then you ready?
Mhm. Yeah.
All right, and this comes from Angie.
Hi, Angie. Oh my gosh, she's so sweet.
She says, "What are you most looking forward to stepping back on stage?"
What I'm most looking forward to?
Yes.
Honestly, I want to see the girls. The community is so supportive, and I love the community that Fitmata has built, and I love conversing with all of the girls, getting to chit chat with them. I as I like was talking to James about my pro debut season and trying to qualify for Olympia and like doing all of these things, and it kind of goes back to that conversation of the mentality that I am going into this year. I think that at the end of the day, the trophy or that first place is gonna be handed out to someone regardless, right? Whether that be me, another well-deserving athlete. But if there is anything that I want to take away from being in this golden opportunity of being one of the first few IFBB pros from the year that the division was announced and being able to compete in the first year of the pro season for the Fit model is really building that community and just making the most out of it in regards to like networking, business, connections, all of that. Because if that's not a priority, then what do you get out of this, right? I mean, at the end of the day, the, the placement people do remember, but also that's not where I hold a lot of value, right? I mean, yeah, I want overall nationals, but what does that change? It doesn't change how cold or warm my pillow is at night, right? So it doesn't change the bills that I gotta pay, right? And it doesn't change the fact that I got to show up and do my job when I wake up the next morning. And so it's like one of those things of like, if there is anything really valuable, it's just meeting the fellow pro athletes and then also just making the most out of the experience outside of placement. And I'm just excited to show up and compete. I love bodybuilding. I always have. And I knew that I would come back one day. And if in the situation where like I mentioned, I want to have kids soon and I grow out of the fit model division when I'm in my 30s, I wouldn't mind entertaining the idea of going back into bikini. I love it. I love the posing. I love the discipline. I really love the routine. It's just something that has always been kind of a part of my life. Um, and in a way, it's also provided me stability in the chaos that is from coming from my profession and also personal life. And yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to the most. Getting to see Angie. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to see Angie.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
So wait, how old are you now? Like 26, 27?
26.
See, you're still young in this. See, like you're in a good time to do this. So
Yeah.
you're not going to see your true potential, true maturity until like late, like into like your early 30s. I think that's when you're going to
Yeah.
see at your best. Maybe this is going to be a really great year for you. We never know what the future holds, but I think you'll see later along. But you, like I said, you dedicated and you waited. You took your time into growing a physique that was not just good to be on stage, but like good to be a pro and then to be going to the next level. And like I tell everybody, and I will tell you, and maybe James has said this, but I look forward to seeing what you do at the next level. I look forward to seeing
Thank
what you do
you.
in the pro league. So before we go, we'll wrap this up. I'm gonna get to your page so
Mhm.
that people can find you and work with you, and any sponsors or people you want to give a shout out to.
Thank you. Yes. Shout out to Team Atlas as always. And very excited that I'm now an ambassador for Bombshell as well. So that's been a lifelong dream of mine.
Use code Faithlyn.
Yes, use code Faithlyn.
And what is this one? How to
That is the ready to wear brand that I'm working on.
Oh, okay.
Um,
And
Tentatively winter of this year. Kind of just depends on how my season rolls out if I need to. And then I also have a lifestyle and coaching business as well. So I focus more so on like lifestyle clients. My client list is temporarily closed, but yeah, I love my girls.
trained by
They're,
Faith.
yes,
So are you just Faith? Or do you want to go? Should I call you just Faith or Faith Lynn?
whatever is easier,
You know,
honestly.
my mom's name in Arabic is Iman, which means faith. So that your name's
Oh,
easy to remember.
really?
Yeah, I actually have it
Cool.
tattooed in Arabic on my left arm.
Cool.
Well,
My
I'm a
mom is a traditional like Filipino woman, and so she
okay.
added the LYN because she's extra and Filipino.
Well, no, it's a unique name. It's easy. It's like we know who that is. If I said Faith Lynn, I'm like I know who that is.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you have a unique. You should if you made your first name. So what does GBDS mean?
Those are my initials. So my full name is Faithlyn Graciela Bala Derla, and
Oh,
then my now last name is Zeppin, which is my husband's last name.
okay.
So it's just my initials. Yeah.
So are you gonna go by Derla on stage or Zeppin? Because then you might be
You
the first or the
know,
last one up.
You know what I will say is like I actually was talking to my husband about this. I do plan on using the branding of Durla. I am the only child and I'm also well, I'm not technically the only child. I had a brother, but he did pass away. And so I am the eldest daughter and also my father's known to be the patriarch of the family. So like I mentioned, I got into bodybuilding to commend him and I want to continue to carry that legacy. So I think I'm going to continue to go by Durla just strictly when it comes to the sport. But legally I am Faithlyn Zeppin.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's well recognized, and I do say that it's unique, it's one of a kind. Like if I just
Thank
said
you.
first name, you don't have to say last name, and it's kind of like someone would like I had Laura Lee on, right? Her name, everyone knows, like they know who Laura Lee. You
Oh,
don't have
her
to say
name
the
is
last name.
distinguishable. Yeah.
Like if I just said Arnold, they wouldn't even like they'll say the governor, the Terminator. They wouldn't have to
That's
say
right.
short. They wouldn't have to say Schwarzenegger. Like I had a person, I had someone on, and I had Emily on just recently, and I was like, they don't know him as a bodybuilder. They know him as a governor. They know him as an actor. They're like, when I showed him as he was a bodybuilder, I was like, he was an underwear model, or like
It
no.
was
I'm like, no, no, no. So he won this Olympia show 7 times, which would mean like he's the
depends
best
on what
bodybuilder.
era you know him from, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah, but that's what's recognizable. Like I don't think there's not one person in the world that doesn't know who Arnold Schwarzenegger is because he's
Yeah.
that recognizable. Probably one of the most top 5 most famous people in the world.
Hmm.
Just the first name. You don't have to say a last name. So I think that's cool and it's unique and that's your own brand. And I think whatever you like I said, I'm happy to see what you're doing in life now because I think whatever you're gonna do, be it bodybuilding, be it your in fashion, you're going to be successful at. So,
Thank
um,
you.
I just wanted to say this before I close out, Faithlyn.
Mhm.
I really appreciate your time. I really thank you for coming on. I'm happy to get to know you and help people go get to know you just a little bit more as well. So,
Yeah.
so
No, it's really an honor to be on here and getting to just chat with you.
yeah, and that's what I want to do. I just wanted to bring people, on here, get to know them and their story, and have people learn just a little bit about them, not just competition, not just the stage, but also who that person is when they're not on stage and who they are, what they've built. So it's how they became great to where they are. So once again, I thank you for coming on, and I look forward to seeing the season. I'll be looking out for you in every show that you're doing. So I'm excited for this year. All right.
Thank you. And when I make my show announcements, I'll be sure to tag you. And of course, PBNN for Toxic Angel Bikinis.
Thank you. I appreciate the plug. Well, anyways, I thank you so much. You have a good rest of your day. Or you have a good rest of your. Are you evening right now? Or are you right now?
It is 7 o'clock here now.
You have a good rest of your evening,
Thank
and
you.
you
You
take care.
too.
All right. Bye.
Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you.
Aloha.